Hey, it's Kim. And why was it so hard for the world to believe Britney Spears and Johnny Depp? I consider myself to be a Britney stan. I've been a fan of hers for over 20 years, and it kind of became a running gag in my family that if Britney Spears came up in conversation, I would immediately start ranting about the conservatorship. And I mean, even my own family even my immediate family did not believe that it was as bad as I was saying it was. All of that changed on June 23rd of 2021, when Britney was finally able to speak in court and the world woke up. I think framing Britney Spears helped the process, but I mean, nothing was like when she spoke that day. That was a moment in history. Hearing Britney talk about being forced to tour, to take lithium, to be sent to an institution, and not being able to control her own bodily autonomy was terrible. And I feel like in a weird way, this is similar to what we're seeing with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Now, I know these are completely different scenarios, and this video is not a hate fest for either of them. But regardless on where you stand on this issue, it is impossible to deny that the tone against Johnny Depp changed dramatically after he was able to speak in April. It also continued to change when audio tapes were shown of Amber Heard mocking Johnny Depp and admitting to hitting him. In both of these situations, it seems like the general public's opinion took a full 180 almost instantly after hearing these people speak. In June of 2021, Britney referred to a prior court hearing where she had explained many of the frustrations that she was explaining that very day, and she had felt then that she wasn't being taken seriously. She's quoted as saying, "The last time I spoke to you, by just keeping the conservatorship going and also keeping my dad in the loop, it made me feel like I was dead. Like I didn't matter, like nothing had been done to me, like you thought I was lying or something. And I'm telling you again because I'm not lying. I want to feel heard. And I'm telling you this again so maybe you can understand the depth and the degree and the damage that they did to me back then." I firmly believe the only difference between this hearing in 2021 and the previous hearings where Britney had talked was that the public became aware. We had transcripts. We had the leaked audio. We couldn't ignore it anymore. But it's also important to note that the reason that there was a Free Britney movement was because of stacks of evidence and court documents. It didn't come out of thin air. In the same vein, the audio tapes of Amber Heard mocking Johnny Depp and admitting to hitting him had been released previously. They had leaked. They just weren't really known to the general public. Even with the recordings and the evidence and the testimony, all of those things, it didn't matter. People that still supported the Justice for Johnny movement or the Free Britney movement were considered conspiracy theorists. And it seems like the only thing that legitimized either of these movements was hearing the people themselves speak. However, in Britney's case, the audio that was leaked was illegal, and the leak started a domino effect of LA courts ending the remote audio program, and then receiving legal action from USA Today. So this begs the question of why is the public being excluded? And in my opinion, the issue with Britney's case in particular was LA discontinuing that audio program was a really bad look. People in LA, people in the LA County, they absolutely have reason to be concerned about the way that the court is handling conservatorships in general, not just Britney. And cutting off that audio is just another way to make it harder for the general public to hold their lawmakers accountable. In a world of live streaming and YouTube and so many resources to be able to put this stuff out there to people that want to see it, is it really too much to ask to have court proceedings be public? I know that is a very loaded question, and there's a lot of opinions on it, but I think it's something worth talking about. I think it's something that as the public, as the general public, we need to discuss. I really think that people wanted to believe that Britney's family had her best interests at heart. They were just trying to help Britney because she was disturbed. It was easier to believe that Britney had a problem than to believe her side of the story. But going back to Johnny Depp, as a society, we have been conditioned to think that DV victims are always the women. And I want to be very, very clear on this before anybody throws anything at me. I absolutely believe in gender-based violence. I have seen the statistics, and I am not discrediting that that exists and that that is a thing. But what I am saying is that the notion or the thought process that says that women cannot be abusers because they're women is ridiculous. Having all of this information in the dark, hidden, and stigmatized has real consequences. Both Johnny and Britney were unfairly judged for years, and they've missed opportunities, personal and professional, because of public assumption. So what do we do moving forward? What can we do as the general public to help people be able to share their sides of the story? I firmly believe that the case of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is not a story that's saying that we shouldn't believe women. I believe that what we can take away from this is that we need to be able to look at both sides of the story and hold back some of our judgment until all the evidence is on the table. And I believe that Britney's case shows the blatant ableism that our culture has. We need to reevaluate the way that we judge people based on their mental health or their perceived disabilities. At the end of the day, our law systems could be better. Our media could be better. We could be better. And we shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. Now, I'm not saying that, we should be irrational about everything and assume that everything is a conspiracy or that there's always more to something, but there's nothing wrong with going a little bit below surface level and trying to understand what is behind the clickbait. So I want to hear from you. What do you think we could do as a general public to stop these types of things from happening, to allow people to be able to share their side of the story? I'm also curious if there was any piece of evidence or something that happened that changed your mind about Johnny or Britney. So that's it. Thanks for sticking through to the end. I really appreciate your time as always. Let me know what you think. Much love.